then preparing for the exams, it's something like many of the families don't really support. So there might be some aspirants who are facing this problem as well. So what would be your message to them? Okay, so what kind of questions were asked other than the question that you have given in the example? Other questions what were asked in your interview? How Mr. Pranav had been mentally strong and stable while preparing. So, what habits helped you remain this mentally strong and stably? Like there was a stability in your thoughts process. Hello everyone, so welcome back to RBI Academy. Today we have a very special guest who has achieved with thousands of aspirants that dream of every year, that is SEBI Grade A. So you know very well that we had 135 candidates who have been selected in this SEBI Grade A 2026 exam, and now I would love all of you to welcome Mr. Pranav, who has cleared SEBI Grade A 2026 exam and secured an impressive rank. Also, what makes this journey more inspiring is that it was not a very straight path for him, and then also he has cleared this exam in his first attempt only. Right? So, of course, there was countless hours of hard work involved, and there was like a lot of support from his family and friends behind this success. So, in today's session, what we are going to discuss will be his educational background, preparation strategy, mistakes and lessons we can learn and he has learned from his journey, phases and phase 1 and phase 2 approaches, interview strategy, time management, sources and resources that he has used for his preparation. Along with that, we will be talking about the motivation that he had got from his during his low phases. Okay, and finally the message that every aspirant needs to hear. So without wasting your time, just start your preparation. So first of all, many congratulations, Mr. Pranav, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction.
Okay, can you please briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, well, I'm Pranav Mahadkar. I am from Mumbai. I completed my graduation from IIT Bombay, and after that, I was working for 6 months in the teaching domain. And after 6 months, I decided to resign from my organization, and I started my regulatory body preparation in the month of February 2025. And since then, I appeared for RBI, PFRDA, IFSCA, and this is my fourth exam.
Okay, so as you told that you were having a graduation in IIT Bombay, so I am just thinking that it will be, of course, engineering, right?
Yes, correct.
So then, shifting from engineering background to commerce background, what were the problems that you had faced, and how did you overcome those things?
So the first of all, I would like to differ with you. It is not a commerce background that the exam demands. Of course, there are a few subjects which are more oriented towards commerce field. But if you look at subjects like finance, management, economics, they are more oriented towards basic knowledge. I mean, any person who wants to survive, who wants to earn their own money, they might be aware of these things like financial markets, all those stuff, right? So then the kind of syllabus that we have in these exams is not entirely from any particular field like commerce. It is a general knowledge that I believe everyone should have.
Yeah, true. Actually, many of our students and aspirants have a fear that they are from science background and can they appear for this exam and clear it in their first attempt. So, guys, here you can see Mr. Pranav, who has completed his engineering and then cleared the exam in his first attempt. So definitely the lessons that you are going to get in this particular session will be really helpful to you. So first of all, also I want to know that why did you choose this exam over other career options?
Since my college days, right from my first year, I was highly inclined towards financial sector, capital markets, how they influence economic growth, how they influence wealth generation. All these factors highly motivate me and fascinates me. And that's the reason why I always wanted to build my career in financial sector. over the time, as I got to know about these regulatory institutes and these exams, I also decided to give it a try, and that's how I entered into this field.
Okay, that's great. Also, you told me that you were actually appearing for PFRDA before this particular exam, and then by very few marks or a very small margin, you could not clear the exam. So, from where
Yes.
did the motivation for SEBI Grade A come, and how did you come out through this low phase?
So missing out on PFRD by very small margin, one that is 1.03 mark. That was really one of the lowest phases of my preparation journey. But at the same time, we need to understand the exam dynamics, the competition intensity, and fortunately, to my luck, the SEBI notification was out by the time the PFRD results came out.
Yeah.
So I knew I had some sort of backing. I mean, in some sort of backing in terms of another exam that is coming up. So rather than worrying about what has happened, I decided to focus on what is coming up next, and that's how I managed to cope up with that failure.
Okay. And one more thing, did your family support your decision of giving the exam for SEBI Grade A?
My family has always been supportive. They have extremely supported me in whatever decisions I have taken till now, be it quitting the job, be it being unemployed and studying for this exam. So
Yeah.
without their support, without their kind of support they have given me, I mean, it was nothing was possible without them.
Yeah, true. Actually, leaving a job and then preparing for the exams, it's something like many of the families don't really support. So, there might be some aspirants who are facing this problem as well. So, what would be your message to them?
See, if you look at exams like SEBI or PFRDA, and if you're not allowed to resign from your job and prepare, uh, on the other side, if you ask me, should I resign or and start the preparation, I would recommend you to not resign from your job, because if you look at these exams, exams like SEBI or PFRDA, they don't occur every year. So there is some time lag. For example, in SEBI occurs every 2 years. So and vacancies are also very less. So I wouldn't recommend anyone to leave their job and start preparing. If you look at the syllabus, if you can dedicate 3 hours on a daily basis, 3 hours of focused preparation, then by the end of 6 months, you would be able to complete your syllabus. So again, circling back to what I said, there is absolutely no requirement to leave your job and start preparing unless and until you really have solid backing and don't have any financial pressure.
That's a very good message that you have given and a very practical one. Okay, now as you said that 3 hours of preparation for at least 6 months is enough for your preparation. Will you will be sharing how many hours did you study daily and did you follow a timetable?
Whenever I study, I don't usually calculate how many hours do I study. I mean, since I was full-time aspirant, I used to prepare in whatever time that I used to get. And coming back to a second question, I didn't follow any strict timetable as such, but I had my daily targets. For example, let's say by the end of today, I want to complete the revision of particular subject. So I had those set those daily targets, which used to give me a sense of something that I have done today. And by the time I was going to the bed, I knew what have I done today and what I have to do tomorrow.
Okay, so how did you divide your preparation between different subjects?
So in SEBI, particularly, we have 7 subjects, and the another one is English descriptive.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about phase two first, then I'll come back to phase one. So if you look at the 7 subjects, so once I completed my syllabus, I used to revise every subject on a single day. So in a week we have 7 days, right? So
True.
one subject every day. So that's how I used to do revision of all the subjects in one entire week. And how I completed my syllabus, coming back to that question. So I relied only on one source for all this study material, and I followed that source completely because I wanted a source where I can have everything under one umbrella.
Okay. So you had actually prepared from one coaching institute and you had
Correct.
followed their preparation material strategically and holistically, right?
Correct.
Okay. And how did you prepare for your descriptive papers?
So coming back to descriptive, I would like to share one interesting incident. So in PFRD as well, we have same syllabus as of SEBI, right? So I got 67 marks in English descriptive in PFRD, which is the highest marks that anyone got. So I think English descriptive was one of my strengths. And how I prepared for it? See, as I said, I prepared for RBI exam as well. So there are lots of current affairs, lots of reports like annual budget, economic survey. All these things help you to write your essays, and I think that things really helped me. So just to summarize, current affairs is what really helped me to formulate my ideas into essays. And I used to practice at least one of essay, précis, or reading comprehension on daily basis. So, for example, today I'll practice essay, tomorrow I'll practice précis, the after day after tomorrow I'll practice reading comprehension. So, 3 4 months of rigorous practice really helped me to manage English descriptive.
Okay, Pranav, one more thing. Many of our students had faced a problem during their descriptive paper that the keyboard was not working or they were facing some problems. So, as an aspirant, what I used to do, I had purchased that separate keyboard and I used to practice on the same. Did you follow something like that?
Yes, so that was the exact thing that I did. I knew how the keyboards are going to be at the exam center. So I ordered a 100 rupees keyboard. And why 100 rupees? I wanted the cheapest keyboard that is available on the internet so that I can practice the worst possible case, whose keys were really hard to press. So yeah, I ordered the keyboard from internet and I practiced on that. On the other hand, whenever I used to enter exam center, I used to check my keyboard. I mean, we have a section wherein we have to enter our login details and password. So I used to check whether all the keys are working or not. And in case if any of the keys is not working, I used to inform the invigilator, and we can request them to change our keyboard.
Yeah, true. Also, you told that you had prepared for current affairs and that had helped you in your descriptive answer writing. So, how many months of current affairs should be covered as per your this advice?
See, in SEBI, you don't have to cover a lot of current affairs, to be really honest, because the phase one exam, it is just a qualifying exam where the paper one has quant, reasoning, English, and current affairs, correct? So you have to score a minimum of 30 marks out from these four subjects. So it is not that you have to go very deep in current affairs, you have to remember every minute detail about everything. You can just have a brief look at what is happening in the economy. So, for example, if you talk about recent events, so let's talk about RBI. So, RBI has released, RBI had a monetary policy meeting recently. The repo rate is at 5.2%. The current economic growth is at 7%. So, you can just remember the highlights for SEBI as far as SEBI is concerned. You don't have to go in much depth. If your quant, reasoning, and English are really good, you can uh, go very light on current affairs.
Okay, thank you. And what was your like? Did you make any kind of notes from your coaching institute, or you had just followed their PDF and used the highlighters to mark the important points?
So the coaching institute PDF were hardly of 30 40 pages. They were
Yeah.
really concise, a very short PDF. So I didn't had to make separate notes out of it. But yes, for English descriptive, I did made a separate notes for it. So for example, we have verticals like MSME, Indian economy, labor laws, students, education, right? So for every each vertical, I used to create a 7 8 points, which helped me to write my essay in a very fast speed during exam. So in exam, we have 1 hour and we have to write 400 words of essay. So having few points in mind did help me in the exam.
Okay. And how important were previous year questions in your paper or preparation?
The previous paper definitely played a crucial role in my preparation. Played a crucial role in my preparation journey. Because see, the paper that you are going to appear, it's definitely going to follow certain pattern. There will be questions which will follow certain pattern. That idea you will get only if you go through the previous year paper. The previous year papers definitely are the non-negotiable thing that you have to do in your preparation.
So, from like last 3 years papers or last three papers, actually not 3 years, we cannot say that because CV
Yes.
doesn't happen every year. So, how many papers did you prepare or did you look for?
So I specifically
I
that
think there
SEBI.
is some sound issue. Just a second. So, for how many years did you prepare? How many papers had you prepared for previous year questions?
So for my reference, we had three cycles of SEBI. SEBI happened in 2020, it happened in 2022, and it happened in 2024. So I had three papers for my reference, and I reviewed them very thoroughly. I analyzed what kind of questions are being asked, how much weightage is there for particular subject, and that's how I analyzed my papers, previous year papers.
Okay, and now let us come to your interview strategy. So, how did you prepare for the interview?
So interviews, see, I'll repeat what exactly stood out for me the interview. So interviews basically asking yourself who you really are and present yourself in the interview. So I'll give you one simple example. One of the questions in my interview was that since I am from IIT Bombay, the panel asked me, "Don't you think you are wasting seat of IIT by coming into a clerical job?" So I remember the quote my director said on the first day of my college. So my director said that your education is being sponsored by taxpayers' money, and it is your utmost responsibility to give back to the society. And SEBI will allow me the platform where I can meaningfully contribute towards society. So I was able to answer this question because I asked myself, ki, do you ask myself, and I interrogated myself, ki, who am I, what I am, and that's how I was able to design and frame my answers.
Yeah, actually true. So, how many mock interviews did you give?
So I gave around, I'm not able to recall the number because we had a friend circle wherein we used to take each other's mock interview every single day.
Okay.
So if I to be bluntly give you a number, it has to be somewhere around 20, 30 mock interviews.
Okay, so what kind of questions were asked other than the question that you have given in the example? Other questions what were asked in your interview?
So I had around 14 questions in my interview.
Okay.
So one of the questions was to introduction, family background. And since I am from environmental science background, they asked me about sustainable development, green financing. Uh, so one of the question was, do you think sustainability and economic development are contradictory? And they asked me about real estate investment trust, why there is low liter participation in that particular segment. They also asked me about what you want to do as a SEBI officer when you join the investor protection department. So these were the basic questions that I could recall right now.
Okay, so there were some questions like you did not know the answer for, and if there were some questions, then how did you handle those?
So yes, there were three, four questions wherein I was not able to give the correct answer. So I simply said them, sir, sorry, sir, I'm not aware of this, or I'm not able to recall this at this point. I will go through it with a smile on my face. So that's how I dealt with such questions.
So, what do you think? What qualities do interview boards actually look for?
So what I have understood so far, they value honesty a lot. If you're honest, they will give you marks like anything. But if you're trying to fool them, if you're trying to if you're trying to hide something or lie something, then they are not going to give you marks. So honesty has to be your top priority. Nothing can beat honesty. You have to be very honest in the interview. You cannot lie anything. Second thing is, since SEBI as is a regulatory body of India, they are looking for employees who have the integrity, honesty, all those sort of skill sets in you. So for me, I think the integrity and honesty really stood out for me personally.
Okay, so what was your mindset before entering the interview room? And there would be many aspirants with you, like at least 3 to 4, 5 people would be there. So, what was the mindset that time?
So I was the first one to go in the interview, and my interview was on the first day in Mumbai. So I was very confident that I can do well because I have very good command over English language. I can speak very well. I had did very nice preparation, very thorough preparation of my interview. So I was quite confident of doing well. However, during interview, I don't know how I reacted to questions. And once I came out of the interview room, I felt that I could have done better in content delivery. I could have done better in all those stuff. But at the end of the day, I think I did better, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, of course. Actually,
Yes,
afterthoughts are a normal part of life.
yes,
Many a times we face situations and then we think, okay, we would have done this. But of course, the
yes,
presence of mind in that interview room is also very important. And the example that you had given up regarding your director's quotation that you could recall shows that
yes,
how much you were actually present and active that time and confident as well. Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Okay.
So for the entire next month, till the time I gave interview and till the time results came, I was constantly thinking of my interview. How could I have done better? Whether I have left the chair in right direction, whether I have entered the room in right direction. All those sort of thoughts were continuously coming in my mind.
So, how many members were there in the panel?
So there were five members in the family. One was female member.
Okay. Okay, now let us talk about the failures, mental health problems that most of the aspirants face these days. So tell us about a phase when things were not going well with you, if there was any.
Honestly, there were a lot of phases where I felt things were not going in my direction. And so, for example, whenever I used to attend mocks, there were times whenever I used to get when I used to get less marks, and that those were the times when I used to get disappointed. But at the end of the day, I had that belief in me that I have the potential to do it. I have the talent that requires required talent that is required to crack the exam, and that self belief always helped me to cope up with whatever thoughts I had in my mind.
Okay, and did you ever think of quitting, or if there was some kind of failure that, as you had told in the PFRDA, so how did you handle all those things? How did you manage the self doubt during your preparation phase?
So I never thought of quitting. The one simple reason to that is that key. I see SEBI as the door, and beyond that door, there is my dream world. All my dreams are there beyond that door, and the only way to unlock that door is to clear the exam. So that was my motivation throughout my preparation journey, and the thought of quitting never come because I knew if I clear this, the world is going to be entirely different thing for me. And today, when I woke up in the morning, I could actually feel that the world is actually very different for me. Everything seems to be very nice suddenly.
So today is
So
24th July, and just after
yes,
1 month, you will be there in SEBI.
correct. Yes,
So actually,
yes.
one more thing that I want to ask you. You told that you while you were attempting mocks and somewhere you were having some kind of doubts and you were facing problems there. So how should mocks must be attempted and the analysis part that most of the aspirants actually don't pay attention to. So how would you what kind of advice would you love to give to those aspirants that how should they attempt these mocks?
So I'll tell you. So SEBI paper two. I will talk about paper two because that is one of the crucial parts.
Yes.
So if you look at the duration of exam, it is around 1 hour, right?
Hmm.
So I used to finish mocks within 1 hour, but the amount of time that I used to spend in analyzing the mocks was around 3 4 hours. So I used to sit and analyze every mock for around 3 4 hours. And the parameters that I used to analyze is that how I what mistake I actually made in the exam, what how I could have done better, how I could have saved my time. So analyzing is extremely crucial part. No, it it won't make any difference if you attempt the 100 marks or 10 marks unless until you are not analyzing it. Even if you attempt 5 marks, you have to analyze it very thoroughly, and then only it is going to add a value in your preparation journey.
Okay, Prerna, thank you. Also, one more thing that I would love to tell my aspirants as well that one thing that I have noticed a quality in Mr. Pranav is that the right attitude towards his dream, the efforts. See, all of us are putting efforts while you are preparing. Many of you had reached till phase 2, and that's very true that everybody was on the same level somewhere or elsewhere, right? But why he could clear the exam where we could be lagging behind would be the reason the right attitude and how Mr. Pranav had been mentally strong and stable while preparing. So what habits helped you remain this mentally strong and stably, like there was a stability in your thoughts process?
So, working on my physical health really helped me a lot. I used to spend at least 1 hour in gym every day. So, staying physically fit, eating healthy food helped me really a lot, and having a good 8 hour sleep, 8 and hour sleep, close to 8 or 8.5 hours sleep really helped me a lot because it used to refresh me mentally, and that's how I managed my attention and focus.
Okay, and did you use any kind of social media during your preparation, or if there was some kind of distractions, how did you avoid them?
So fortunately, I'm not someone who is very active on social media. I used YouTube for video lectures and staying updated with what is happening with exam cycles because the YouTube was one of the source where I used to get updates about new exams, if there is any announcement about particular exam. So apart from YouTube, I am not really active on any social media platforms.
Okay, and you told that you were actually going to gym and everything. So, how important is physical fitness during your preparation?
Honestly, if I have to give the rating, then I would say physical health has to be your top priority. If you're not fit, nothing is going to happen. Because what exam requires you to be extremely attentive, extremely, you need to have a strong focus on what you are reading, what you are studying. And that will only happen if your physical health is good. So there is one saying, sound health, sound body and sound mind is what is extremely crucial for the exam.
Yes, true, very true. And then, okay, now let us move to another rapid fire round where you will be telling me the answers. Like, for example, I will be asking you one book that every aspirant should read. So, what would you be recommending us?
So I'm not someone who has read a lot of books, so I can't
Okay.
really comment on this.
Okay, okay. So no books you had read. Like I have seen many people who actually read those SEBI chairman or RBI governors speeches. Did you do that?
So I used to follow the current affairs manual of coaching institute, and they used to cover everything.
Hmm.
So this speech of governor, the RBI initiatives, all those things used to get covered in the current
Okay,
affairs
you
manual of
had
coaching.
actually read the gist of those, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And one mistake that aspirants should avoid, according to you?
Over preparation, uh,
Yes.
going through lots of sources, switching sources very frequently. So this is the blunder, in my opinion.
Okay, and one subject that aspirants actually fear unnecessarily. You feel that this is an unnecessary fear, but everybody is having that.
So one thing that I have observed in every aspirant while discussing with a lot of people, they get fear when there's a number of aspirants. So they are like, oh my god, there are 1.5 lakh aspirants. How am I going to survive in that? So see, filling the exam form is not a difficult thing. Anyone can come and fill the exam form, right? So you are not supposed to get afraid by seeing the number of aspirants. So if I have to advise one thing, then I would like to tell everyone that please ignore the number of aspirants.
Okay. Okay. Now there is one important question. How should beginners approach phase one? First thing, along with that, I would love to actually not quote the person who has been saying this thing, but there is a coaching institute that constantly tells people that okay, people from very strong educational background can only clear these exams. Okay, and now you belong to IIT Bombay, of course, the top premier institute of India. So, do you really feel that it is the case? And if not, then what would be your advice for people who don't have such a strong educational background but are ready to prepare and do all their kind of efforts?
See, in last 8 months, I have seen people who are from IIT and they have not cleared the exam. Whereas I have also seen the people who are not from very reputed engineering or any colleges, and still they have cleared the exam. So your educational qualification, of course, will help you in some way, but at the end of the day, what matters is how much efforts you are willing to put in, how much dedicated you are, and how much hungry you are.
Okay. See, while I was sitting, I had also appeared for RBI interviews. So while I was sitting there, I had two or three people also along sitting with me. They were having some kind of a background. Like one of them was working in SIDB, another one was working in already this some PSB bank, right? So what kind of people were there while you were going to appear for the interview? So the people who were sitting, what was their educational background? If you know, you can discuss the same.
Yes. So on the 18th May, in the morning when I entered the SEBI headquarters, I interacted with a lot of people, and the primary objective of interacting is that I wanted to keep that momentum of communication going on. So in the morning, you are not really warmed up to go and speak in front of panel. So I was constantly forcing myself to go and talk with people so that I can have some momentum with me and I can communicate fluently. So that was the major objective of communicating with people. Coming back to your question, I communicated with one of the CAs that was present there. I also talked with one of the guys who was working in a PSU. He had around 6-7 years of work experience. There were some freshers as well. So it was mixture of everything.
Yeah, so the code that the person has been giving, that okay, only the people from some premier institutes or education strong education background can clear the exam. I personally feel, guys, no offense to anybody, he has been more experienced, if many of you would be knowing, but I genuinely feel that is not the case. If you are ready to work smart and hard, then definitely you will be able to clear your exam, right, Pranav?
Correct, 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 definitely.
Yeah. Okay, then we were discussing how should beginners approach phase 1.
Yes, sorry, I missed that question earlier.
No
But
issue.
coming
Actually,
back to
we
that,
were also
coming back to
discussing the second thing. Yeah.
yes. So coming back to that question again, see, first of all, you need to understand the pattern of exam. So if you look at the paper one of phase one, so there are four subjects. First is quant, reasoning, English, and current affairs. So for if you talk about me, I had really good command over quant, reasoning, and English, so I can clear the cutoff using these three papers. For someone who may not be comfortable with quant, they will have they will have their own strengths. So try to identify where you can score those 30 marks and work on it. So because phase one is just a qualifying paper, you don't have to get a lot of marks in it. You have to just get a minimum 30 marks to clear that paper. So understand your strengths, understand wherein you can maximize your marks and work on that. Coming to paper two is something which tests your domain knowledge, and you have to paper everything in that because that is what decides the selection in paper two, in phase two.
Okay, thank you. And guys, if you are having any kind of doubt, I would love that you comment in the comment section. And Mr. Pranav, if he finds the time to answer your queries, he will definitely come on our platform
Yes.
and answer that, right? Mr. Pranav, will
Yes.
you do the same for our
Yes.
students? Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, now what role did family and friends play during your difficult phases and the preparation phase?
So I had a family support constantly throughout my preparation journey. But I decided to keep my preparation journey very private, and I was not not all my friends were aware of it. I had only discussed this with one of my friends. So family was very supportive, and of course, the friend who was aware of my journey. He was there with me for last 1.5 year, no matter what phase I am in.
Okay, that's great. So, what is the biggest lesson that journey had taught you?
See, the journey definitely taught me to be very sincere in what you are doing. If you are sincere, if you are dedicated, if you are focused, then you can turn the world upside down.
So, sincerity, dedication, focus, right attitude, these are few
Yes.
qualities that Mr. Pranav has taught us, told us in this particular interview. So, people who are watching this interview, let me be very clear, don't just see this interview, okay, fine, we had seen one this success plan, next plan, third plan. Just learn from the people who has been successful in this journey, learn from them and implement the same in your journey. Okay, so what message would you love to give to all aspirants watching this interview?
So first of all, I would like to wish them all the best for the preparation. Second thing, I would like to share that there are going to be ups and downs. In fact, I'll be very honest, there are going to be more downs than ups. But remember, the only single uptick will change your entire world. So that is the motivation for you all.
So, how does it feel yesterday and today itself when you woke up after seeing your name in the final list and then everybody was talking about the same? So, how does it feel?
So I couldn't sleep, to be honest. And when I saw my roll number in the result, I couldn't believe. So after every 5 minutes, I used to check: is it that number? Is that number belongs to me? Am I checking the right roll number? So I checked that roll number for around 20, 30 times, and throughout the night, I was not able to sleep. I was very excited. I don't know how to react. So I was just observing whatever was happening around me.
Okay, so actually, this is something, first of all, though, whatever we had planned for ourselves, our dreams becoming true, of course, because of our efforts, hard work, and then the morning in which you are an officer, right? From an ordinary citizen of India to becoming an officer, the journey is tough, but the fruits are, of course, that attractive, right? So
Correct.
you feel like
Correct.
it is worth it. All the efforts, the hard work, all the sacrifices that you have made are worth it, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so now
Definitely.
let us close the session and thank you so much, Mr. Pranav, for sharing your journey with us. And I'm sure
Thank
your
you.
stories, strategies, experience will inspire thousands of aspirants for RBI, NABARD, SEBI, UPSC, and many other exams that they are
Yes.
appearing for. And friends, if you found this session helpful, do like the video, share it with yourself, friends, and also if you are having any kind of doubts that you want to ask Mr. Pranav, you can just ask in the comment section. try to be precise about your doubts so that it doesn't take much efforts for him as well, and then we will be trying to resolve the doubts. And if there is any kind of message that you want to give him and congratulate him, please do so in the comment section, and let
Thank
us
you. Thanks a
meet
lot.
you in the next session. Thank you everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.